to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, cavetalkradio.com, and the Cave Talk Radio app. It's great to have you aboard. Gary Ayd with you. And we got a lot to get to. Rich Anselmo is joining us as well. We got two interviews today. We have our friend joining us from the Smash and from the Bombers. The young kids with the Smash. That's going to be fun. I believe it's Logan. So that'll be cool. Logan Mendoza. So that's coming up at 4:30. Our Bomber interview will directly precede that. Right now it's time for the opening rant. And today's opening rant is an easy one. Steve Cohen calling a press conference, saying he wants people to hear it from him. This is about an hour ago. New York Mets owner Steve Cohen tweeted on Tuesday, that's today, that he intends to hold a press conference. I'm reading this from CBSSports.com. Hold a press conference prior to the club's night game on Wednesday against the Milwaukee Brewers. Cohen declared that fans will get to, quote, get it from me straight. It's unclear if Cohen intends to announce any personnel changes or if he's just simply going to face the press. The Mets, of course, are horrendous. They are coming into today's game 35-43, and they are easily one of the biggest disappointments of the year. 16 games back of the Braves. They're 8.5 out of a wild card. Look, they're starting slow, and then there's this. This is a disaster. It's an unmitigated disaster. What you expect from this team and what you're getting is simply just not acceptable. It's just not. Justin Verlander was reasonably good last night, but they lost anyway because they couldn't score. Other nights, the pitching gives their offense no chance. They just can't put it together. And at some point, you have to do something. Now, my gut feeling tells me they're going to fire Buck Showalter tomorrow. And I'm not happy about that. I hope I'm wrong about that. That's just purely a gut feeling. As the article I just read stated, there's been no direct indication of that, no report of that. But I just have that feeling. And I hope I'm wrong because he's not the problem. The problem is this lineup can't score and the pitchers can't get anyone out. Other than that, they're great. It's like we can't score and we can't get anyone out, but we're fine. We're good. Look, this is the problem, right? Because now you have issues at all three layers. The lineup is inconsistent. And the pitching is both levels are bad because the bullpen is overly taxed for two reasons. The starting pitching isn't good enough, and everyone is moving up a slot because of the injury in the preseason to Diaz. So what happens is it cascades, and that's what we've seen. That's when they can't get anyone out is the starter blows it, and then the bullpen makes it worse because they have guys who are supposed to be pitching in the 7th, pitching in the 8th, guys who are supposed to be in the 8th, pitching in the 9th, and guys who are supposed to be in the minors, pitching when the starter doesn't get the job done. And this is the result. And on nights when you get good pitching, like last night, the offense is inconsistent. There's too many strikeouts. Jeff McNeil has reverted back to 2 years ago. He's a far cry from the player he was last year when he won the batting title. I'm not really sure what's going on with him. My opinions on Francisco Lindor are well chronicled. I don't really need to repeat those. You just look at his numbers and what he gets paid. It's not good. Alonso was out for a while. There's just not. Marte went from 35 to 70 in the offseason somehow in terms of years old. He's just like geriatric all of a sudden out there. You look at this roster and you think, where's this improvement going to come from? The biggest thing I'm probably disappointed with, Rich, is the performance of the kids. Brett Beatty's a disaster right now. He made a bad fielding error the other day. He hasn't been great at the dish. Alvarez, after a good start, has been more down than up. And those are the guys, like I've been saying throughout most of the year to this point, I had some reasonable level of optimism that the offense would turn it around because of the fact that so much of their lineup is comprised of these younger players. But now, as June's about to turn to July, we're halfway or better through the season. I'm beginning to have that optimism wane. I really am. And I mean, Beatty's hitting 247, which isn't great. It's not awful, but he's got no power. He's only got 4 home runs. He's not driving in runs. He's only got 20 RBIs. I mean,
he's also a year. Is it fair to throw it all on him?
Oh, no, not at all. But what I'm saying is he's not improving as the season goes on. So I'm not really mad at him for being young and inexperienced. But what I'm saying is if you're looking for a reason to expect this team to turn it around, the one thing that I thought you might see is some surge of offensive production from the younger players. And if you're not going to get that because they're still learning, that's understandable. But that leaves you to a grim reality of this ain't turning around. I mean, I'm beginning to just kind of pack up my tent. They're 8.5 out of a wild card place, a wild card spot. They, damn, they even let minor league teams make the wild card these days. My goodness, you're not even in contention for that. I'm sorry. This is look. Atlanta's good. Like even if they came in and lost to Atlanta in this division, okay, fine. I can live with that. Atlanta's a World Series caliber team. Okay, fine. That's not going to kill me. But to be completely not competitive, 16 back of Atlanta is a stretch. 8.5 back of the wild card. That's inexcusable. That just can't be the case, but it is. And where is this going to go? Where is this turning around? Okay, you get your pound of flesh. You fire Showalter. Now what? Are you going to get rid of Epler too? Or are they going to trade some of these players? Who's going to take them? What are you going to get for them? I mean, these are the type of questions, and I'm happy. I'm happy Cohen is calling this press conference and addressing it himself. I think that shows a level of commitment and transparency that is woefully lacking in most ownership groups in almost all of corporate America today. Usually they just send out some lower level stooge to take the shings and arrows on their behalf. I appreciate Cohen doing that himself. I really do.
Considering who it is, Gary, it doesn't surprise me.
No, well, that's why, and that's the one bit of optimism I still have. I still firmly believe in Steve Cohen as an owner. I really do. I think his head's in the right place. I think his heart's in the right place. I think maybe he allowed himself to trust the wrong people in his baseball operation, particularly in the front office. Sandy Alderson, from what I understand, still has sort of like a, consultants whispering influence in that organization, which does not make me happy. I mean, this guy's like the cockroach that will never die. What has he ever accomplished? He pinched some pennies. Okay, great. This is New York. This is a hedge fund bazillionaire who probably, if someone buys something on his debit account for $2 billion, he probably doesn't even notice. Like, you think I'm worried about pinching pennies here? You think more operatively? Do you think Steve Cohen is worried about pinching pennies? I doubt it. Can we get this Sandy Alderson ideology out of the organization? Let's get rid of Billy Epler. Let's pretend like Alderson never worked there. Let's go watch some tapes of George Steinbrenner from the 80s and 90s. That's what we want. You can do without some of the bluster, but that's the mentality we want, not just from the owner. We want that permeating through the organization. Let's go get some players. Now, people say, well, look at all the money they spent. Well, it's deceiving. Yes, they have a huge payroll, but it's really deceiving. The Lindor contract is the big one, but really a third of their payroll almost is tied up in Scherzer and Verlander and will expire in the next year and a half. So for all intents and purposes, this payroll is closer to like 270 million, which is still high, but it's not the monstrosity of 340 or 50 or whatever it is, without those two guys who are on their way out. So I mean, we've seen the Yankees do this before. Remember Kevin Brown, what a disaster that was for the Yankees? Remember Carl Pavano?
Yes.
I remember these guys. How'd that go? How'd Randy Johnson work out for the Yankees? They ate those contracts and they went and got the next guy. The Mets are now in a position where they can and need to do that. So Scherzer and certainly him. Maybe Verlander still got a little left in the tank. Probably not enough to justify what you're paying him, but probably enough to still be a good pitcher. But Max looks shot. So you eat the contract and you go get someone. Go pick up someone at the trade deadline. You know, look around, find yourself a starter. I'm not an expert enough on who's going to be available, who's not, but that's not my job to be. It is the front office's job. And there will be pitchers available who are good, who will make you better. Because it's not like you're looking to get, Shane Bieber. Like, I want just guys who can be pitchers 3, 4, and 5. So you give yourself a chance every night. Because the offense, while it's fickle and hot and cold, is not an abomination, right? So if you give yourself a little length and an opportunity every night, I think you'll start to win some games. The problem is a lot of nights the pitching is just so bad that even a good offensive night will get you an L. And, last night's not one of those games. The offense didn't show up. Verlander pitched 5 pretty good innings. But, those happen to everybody. This offense leaves something to be desired, but it's not like a train wreck, right? What's a train wreck is this pitching staff. This pitching staff is an absolute disgrace. Top to bottom. There's not one redeeming piece of it other than Verlander's still pretty good. That's the best thing you could say. A 40-year-old that you needed to be your ace is pretty good. That's not good. So I'm going to be curious to see what Cohen says tomorrow. We'll, I'm sure, have a lot more to get on this. I mean, what would you do if you were Steve Cohen, Rich? What would you be thinking or addressing in this press conference? What would be on your mind?
I agree with you that firing Showalter's not the answer. There's nothing else he can do. What would I do? I would actually have one of my baseball people on with me. I would tell my spot on this, and then I would say, okay, how are we going to fix this? These are the tools I'm going to give you. Put their feet to the fire.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it to me, ultimately, I think you have to assume accountability and responsibility to the fans and, explain what your intentions are to try to correct it. Not try to explain what's happened. You can't explain it. It is what it is, and you just have to say, "We stink. We have stunk. We're sorry for stinking. We're going to try to stink less." Clearly, I went to the eloquent school of creative writing with that statement, but you get my point.
Oh, I get it.
And sometimes that's all you need to do. Just take it head on and be specific in how you plan to turn things around. That's all I want. As a fan, that's all I'm looking for. It really is. Hey, if you are going to be on the other side of the river, you want to check out Beacon and you want to check out Carter's Restaurant. I'm going there for dinner Friday night with my wife, Chicken Eugene, a signature dish. Absolutely looks delicious on the menu. Get 20% off via mentioning Cave Talk Radio at all times except for happy hour. They're open pretty late, except on Wednesdays. They're closed. Just a tremendous, tremendous place. Really good chefs. In fact, Culinary Institute of America trained chef Jonathan Lombardi, who's also the owner. Go check him out. Beacon. It's Carter's Restaurant. And hey, you know what I'm doing? You might want to do this. Go to the restaurant for dinner and then hop over another 2 miles down to Heritage Financial Field and go check out a Renegades game. That's what I'm doing Friday. It's a nice double date. Take out your wife, go with your best friend, whatever you want to do. Carter's Restaurant, Beacon. Renegades games over in Wappingers Falls. Makes for a nice double date, nice double night out. That's what I'm doing Friday. You should do the same. Mention Cave Talk Radio at Carter's and you will get 20% off. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We got the question of the day next. And then Bombers and Smash the rest of the show. Smash first. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Is now officially home to the home run of our favorite beverage, Days Coffee. Days' patented blend contains approximately 85% less caffeine than other coffees, which makes it better for you, yet unlike decaf coffee, still gives you that great pickup and tastes amazing. Formulated by a retired cancer pathologist, Dr. Grant Lee, Days Coffee is fermented with a patented enzyme that until now required a complex and thus expensive sourcing and production process. With Dr. Lee's formulation, this enzyme's great health benefits can now be brought to your cup quicker, easier, and cheaper than ever before. Here's how you get a hold of this game-changing cup of joe. Go over to radioonlydeals.com and get a $4 gift certificate to Days Coffee for just $2. That's radioonlydeals.com to buy your single-use digital gift certificate for Days Coffee. Radioonlydeals.com. That's radioonlydeals.com. Enjoy the preferred coffee of the Gary Ayd Show. Enjoy Days Coffee.
Professional sports front offices might start to shrink in the near future. I am KO, back in 1 minute with your sports question of the day.
Would you like to hear better for as little as 10 cents a day? Now you can with the all-new Audion hearing aids. The average hearing aid lasts about 3 years. Ours, at only $99 a pair, means you're paying as little as 10 cents a day to hear better. And to make things even better, we'll give you a 45-day money-back guarantee. Skip the doctor and get hearing aids delivered straight to your door. We've eliminated all the middlemen to offer you a factory direct price of only $99 a pair. Join over 300,000 people just like you who took advantage of our 45-day trial offer. Now you can hear better too for just 10 cents a day. Call now and order your $99 pair of Audion hearing aids with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Plus, get free 3 to 5 day shipping.
800-226-1471. 800-226-1471. 800-226-1471. That's 800-226-1471.
Artificial intelligence-powered decision-making is making its way into pro sports front offices as a tool to augment human decision-making. And that might spell trouble for front office staff. Harvard Business Review's Joel Shapiro and Toby Velty say artificial intelligence offers accuracy, superior results in risk management, training and targeted interventions, and personnel decisions. Question: how long do you think it will take before AI accounts for the majority of pro sports front office jobs? Less than 5 years, 10 years plus, or never gonna happen?
Oh boy. I mean, I hope it's the last one.
Yeah, me too.
Although I have to tell you, most front office types are really like kind of on the not exactly my Christmas list variety. So I'm not gonna be like sad for a lot of them specifically because they've made this bed. They've been going into a numbers utopia for so many decades, and they've tried their best to turn sports into little more than a live action math equation. That this is sort of the bed they made. Now they get to lay in it variety. the people I feel bad for are the people who didn't ask for this. Yeah, I'm talking about guys like, attorneys. I'm talking about, administrative staff in offices of all kinds. I'm talking about those type of jobs. Anyone that's been trying to overly convert the workforce into a little more than a math equation, this is what you had coming. This is the zenith of your efforts. You created this yourself as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, people being displaced by automation is never something I'm happy to see. And that's going to remain the case. I'm not happy to see this, even though it was, somewhat predictable, to a degree. So I'm not happy about it. But my honest opinion is, if the question is majority, I'm gonna say never, because I think ultimately, from what I've seen with AI, and this could change, but from what I've seen with it, it's really only as useful and as current as the aggregate data or information that it's pulling from. And essentially what it's pulling from is it's essentially pirating all of the world's information, which of course is created by humans. And anything created by AI will by necessity be a regurgitation or a reformatting of previously existing information which was created by humans. So after some time, if there's no humans still creating everything, you're just going to get run down, old, outdated information from the AI. So my feeling is that because of that fatal flaw of AI, which I don't see how that ever gets changed, I think you're going to see a lot less apocalyptic results from this than have been forecast across all industries. I think AI's usefulness will be most pronounced in areas of transcription, like turning audio into text or vice versa. I think it will be pronounced in research tasks. I think it will be pronounced in certain administrative tasks like calendar scheduling and things of that nature. We've seen it for years with chat bots on various websites. I think that'll continue to become more common. But anything that requires up to date information, the AI might source it and maybe even help with the layout of it and composition of it that needs to be then edited and more humanized. But I don't know that it will be able to create, because it relies on finding what it quote unquote creates is really nothing more than a fancy search that aggregates and then composes based on known conventions from that aggregate information, which again was created by humans. So if that information ages because humans aren't creating it anymore, the AI's created reports will also be equally aged. So I think we're safe in that respect.
I agree. They there are enough limitations and there are enough daily tasks in any front office where you need people to do them.
Right.
And there are also things that require that personal touch.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get away from that.
Well, that's what a lot of these front office people have tried to sever from sports, which is why I lack a little sympathy for a lot of them versus if they hadn't done that. But yes, I obviously agree with your statement there. So all right, well we got
I mean, look at not to belabor the point, but look at the fast food industry. There are places now I go into where there is no one at the counter.
Yep.
If you want something, you have to order at a kiosk.
Yep. That's true. Or you previously with your mobile app or whatever, right? That's true.
Yes.
Um
But a human being still has to make it and deliver it to
that's
you.
right.
For now, anyway.
So we'll see.
Some places have robots flipping burgers.
Oh, great. All right. Well, let's.
And you were worried about Major League Baseball with the robo umps. I go to a lot of minor league games. I've been to single and double A so far this year, and I have not seen one yet.
That's good news.
Very.
All righty. Well, let's go ahead and speak with Logan Mendoza coming up next. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave. What's up, Cave Talk Radio fans? If you're looking for a great dinner and a tremendous atmosphere, look no further than Carter's Restaurant in Beacon, New York. It's a family-run restaurant, and as soon as you walk in the door, you will feel like part of their family, as they will be there to greet you and say goodbye as you leave. Make sure to try their Chicken Eugene. It's their specialty dish, originally created by Chef Eugene Greco, who taught the dish to the chefs at Carter's. Jonathan Lombardi, the chef of Carter's, is himself a CIA graduate, by the way. Carter's Restaurant is the go-to place for private events such as rehearsal dinners, cocktail parties, baby showers, and more. It's open every day except Wednesday, and the kitchen is open from 12 to 10 every day, but for Sunday, when it's open 11 to 8. The bar is open even later. Mention Talk Radio and you get 20% off your bill with the exception of happy hour. Again, Cave Talk Radio for 20% off your bill at Carter's Restaurant in Beacon, where your family will join the family of Carter's. Oh, all righty. Welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. We are joined now by one of our OC Smash Players of the Week, Logan Mendoza. Hello, Logan. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to be on this.
All right, good. Well, we're excited to have you, man. So tell me, how long you been playing baseball?
5 years.
5 years? What are you, 7 or so?
Yes.
Were you even walking yet when you started playing baseball? Or were you crawling around the
Yes.
bases?
Yes. I got out a lot.
I see that. Good for you. That is fantastic. What's your favorite part about baseball?
I get to like hit and field. I just love baseball.
You just love baseball. Hey, that's a good thing. What positions do you play currently?
Shortstop.
Shortstop. Okay, so you have a good throwing arm then? Yeah.
What?
You have a good arm then? You must have a good arm
Yeah.
if you play shortstop, yeah.
Yes.
Now what's how long, I guess is this your first year with the Smash?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you like it so far?
Good.
Awesome. What's different about it from Little League?
Competition.
Higher competition level? Yeah. What do you what do you like about like when you hit, are you a lefty or a righty?
Righty.
You're a righty. Okay. What do you think is the most important part about hitting? Like what do you think's the key to it?
Like getting hits and RBIs.
Got to drive in those runs, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very, very cool. What would you say, what got you into baseball in the first place? You started at such a young age. What got you into it?
I got the idea. I've been watching baseball. And that's with my dad.
Excellent. Who's your favorite player?
Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso.
Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso. All right, we have met people here. Yes, you're the second one all season. I'm very excited about this.
I'm going to the game on Thursday.
Oh yeah?
Mhm.
There you go. Awesome. Well, hey, you know what the good thing about the Mets is that they're at least there's only room for improvement, right? They've been not too good this year.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso is my favorite player too. He's awesome. So hey, you know what I wanted to ask you too? I was curious when you watch the Mets, what do you like yell at the TV? Like are you like getting all into the game?
Yeah.
That's what Met fans do. Absolutely. When are you guys playing next, you and the Smash?
Saturday.
Saturday? Awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And you guys are playing where, do you know?
Jersey.
Oh, you're gonna be in Jersey. Excellent. Very cool. So you guys got those games coming up, and how's the season been going so far? Make any cool memories or meet any new people
Yeah.
this year?
Yeah.
You have any new friends on the team
Yeah.
that you met on the Smash?
Yeah. Like Leo
Hmm.
and Sasha. He was on my Little League team. And yeah, Mason. Like, all my teammates.
Awesome. Very cool. And I guess my last thing to ask you today, what do you think what are you guys thinking about as far as traveling? Are you enjoying the travel part of playing with the Smash, like going on the
Yes.
bus rides and stuff?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, hey, enjoy Jersey this week. Have a good time with it, okay?
Yes.
Alrighty, man.
Thank
Well,
you.
hey, keep playing well. Congrats again. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, there's Logan Mendoza. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All righty, welcome back to the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave, and we are joined now by Madison Ringus. We spoke to her and her sisters about a week or two ago. Speaking with Madison again, talking more specifically Bombers this week. Hello, Madison. How are you? There we go. There we go. So what's up, Madison? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I hear your dog back there. Does he or she want to partake too?
Apparently she does. She barks at everything.
Excellent. Yeah, I had a dog who barked at everything growing up, so much so it was funny. So our mailman was terrified of our dog, having never seen it. Our dog had a really big bark, but it was actually just a small little like Shih Tzu Dachshund mix. So it was only like 15 or so pounds and about 2 feet long and about equal size height. So it was very small. But it just sounded like a Great Dane or like a big dog, a German Shepherd or something. So one day the mailman has to actually come into the house to like get some kind of signed package delivered or something. And he sees the dog at the top of the stairs and he asked my mom, "Where's your other dog?" And she said, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "He's like the one that barks all the time." And my mom's like, "Oh, it's that one." He goes, "That noise comes out of that thing?"
That's funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. He wasn't scared after that. So those little dogs always like to yell.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, so tell me, I guess now that you're kind of wrapping things up here in a little while, give me like kind of your backstory for over the years with the Bombers and some of the the places you've been and some of the things you've gotten to do during your time associated with the organization as a player.
So I guess we'll start with tryouts. So I actually missed the 12U tryouts for Bombers. So when my dad was in contact with Gina, he's like, can we get her in anyhow? Can she get a private tryout? So Gina says, you know what? Come to the 16U, 18U tryout, and we'll just get some look at her there. So we show up. I've thrown with the girls. I knew one of the girls already because I played school ball with her and was at camps with her before. So we're throwing. We're getting ready. We go outside and we're taking ground balls in the outfield. And next thing, I go up next after my friend, and Gina's husband, Johnny, hits a ground ball at me, same speed as the other girls, and I take it right off my chest, pick it right back up, throw it in. And Gina screams at Johnny, and she goes, Johnny, are you kidding me? She's 12 years old. So that's where my Bombers career started. So it's just a funny memory. We talk about it all the time. But places-wise, we've been everywhere from town of Walk Hill, which is like 20 minutes from me, and all the way down to Myrtle Beach in Kentucky for nationals. So we've had definitely a wide range of weather and places to be. Myrtle Beach was definitely one of my favorites because not only do we get to play in hotter weather and nicer weather, you also get to go to the beach whenever we're not playing.
When you're not playing. Cool. Yeah, that's a good spot. Now, did you ever, because I spent a little time in the South myself in the radio business. I was in Virginia for a while, Southern Virginia, basically almost North Carolina. And one thing that I learned very quickly is that you're always just minutes away from a 30-minute thunderstorm or hailstorm or something. You have any fun travel stories of getting stuck in one of those fun southern storms from your time with the Bombers?
Yeah, so when we were in Myrtle the one time, actually, so they don't have turf fields down there, but they have these clay fields that they're like red, and my mom kills me anytime we go down there because when we wear our white uniforms, they're always stained, and she's like a perfectionist when it comes to those things. So we had one day where it did start raining. They ended up stopping the game to a rain delay, and we decided, let's play some music, just pass the time, because we had to wait like a half hour, I think it was, because of thunderstorms. So then we go out on the field because we started playing the Cotton Eye Joe, and the other team comes out and starts dancing with us. So we had like a whole dance party going on. So it was just really cool.
That's so funny. And what age group were you at the time?
I think that would have been my second year as a 14 years. I would have been 14.
Wow. So this is a few years ago. That is really funny. I remember one time, not to compare stories here, but I remember one time I was doing public address announcing when I was in college at Oswego, and I remember it was a rain delay, and I was just sitting there in the press box, Everyone's off the field. Everyone's left. I don't see the umpires, but I'm like, no one told me like, hey, we're done. So I'm looking around, and I was probably there 20 minutes or so after the game had been called. And finally, the head coach had the good decency to like walk over to me and like give me the signal like we're done here. Like, so I'm sitting there like an idiot. I'm just like, can I go yet? Can I leave? I don't know. I'm a student. I don't want to do the wrong thing, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And he looked at me and like, wait, are you up there still? Get out of here. Okay, yes, sir. So he was a real military looking guy too, like kind of gruff and tough.
So that was probably scary.
Yeah. He wasn't the guy you wanted to interview. He wasn't even happy after they won. So he was one of those types.
That's funny.
What's been, I guess, as you're kind of wrapping things up here, what's been the hardest part of transitioning for you? Like it's fun.
From like school to travel?
Yeah. No, I meant like you're getting ready to go to college and like kind of wrap up your day-to-day involvement with the Bombers. Like, what's been the toughest part about that?
Definitely leaving the girls, because we're all going to so many different places, and it doesn't matter if we're all going into New York schools. It's just we're so many hours away from each other. And I've played with probably the bulk of our team for like 6 or 7 years now. So it's just going to be really weird leaving them.
Yeah. What would you say, at which level through all the years you played with the Bombers, would you say the team was the most competitive? Like, what was your most accomplished season?
I would say 16U was probably the most competitive that we played, and 14s, depending on where you go. I think our biggest accomplishment was when we were down in Myrtle Beach the second time. We must have been 16U because we had to play up against 18U teams because there wasn't enough of them. And we ended up placing third out of the 16 and 18U teams.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. And this was nationals, you
it
said?
It was an awesome, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What made that team that year so good?
Well, definitely the girls, but our chemistry together worked very well that year. And I think we had spent 2 or 3 years together already, so we're starting to figure it out, form better bonds with each other. So that definitely helped.
And now, what about the flip side? What year was maybe the biggest challenge for you over your Bombers tenure?
Probably my first year, which was, I was 12 years old when I started, so I was actually late to starting travel, but I cannot remember a single game that we won that year.
Okay.
I don't know what it was about that year, but I just know that we did not win many games.
It wasn't good. Were there any lessons taken from that for the next year and future years?
Definitely never giving up. As many times as we lost, we came back to the field the next day and we put in work every day at practice. You know, there was never like crying over these games. They were lessons that we took on for our next game. And I think that really helped us in the next few years build a better team.
And I guess my last couple of things here for you. What would you say, whether it's a actual on-field lesson or just something you learned from being associated with the organization? What do you think is going to be the most valuable lesson for you as you get set to start your adult life and college and beyond? Like, what do you think is going to be like carrying the most weight for you?
I would say leadership and teamwork. Those are going to be huge things that I can apply not only on the field, but I can also now apply to when I get a job. After I come out with my 4-year degree, I can work with my my coworkers rather than work with my teammates now. And being a leader applies to me taking charge of my life, not necessarily like being a leader to people, but taking control of my life and what I do with it. So now I have so much freedom, but how I use that freedom is what's going to determine like my future.
That makes a lot of sense. Well stated. I guess the last thing for you, I think we might have talked about this the last time we spoke, but are you planning as able to stay involved in some capacity with the Bombers?
Yes. Right now, I'll probably come back for over the summer. I'll play 23U softball. Otherwise, I'll be coaching when I'm not playing.
Excellent. Any idea what age groups you're going to work with, or just whatever they need?
Probably wherever Gina needs me, but if I can work with my little sisters teams more, then I will, because I'll probably bring them to their practices.
That makes sense. Taxi driver and coach at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Tremendous. Good stuff. Well, hey, thanks for joining us again on short notice, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you. Alrighty, there you go. That is Madigan Ringus. This is the Madison Ringus, excuse me. This is the Gary Ayd Show. Back after this here on The Cave.
Coffee Lovers Middletown is now officially home to the home run of our favorite beverage, Days Coffee. Days' patented blend contains approximately 85% less caffeine than other coffees, which makes it better for you, yet unlike decaf coffee, still gives you that great pickup and tastes amazing. Formulated by a retired cancer pathologist, Dr. Grant Lee, Days Coffee is fermented with a patented enzyme that until now required a complex and thus expensive sourcing and production process. With Dr. Lee's formulation, this enzyme's great health benefits can now be brought to your cup quicker, easier, and cheaper than ever before. Here's how you get a hold of this game-changing cup of joe. Go over to radioonlydeals.com and get a $4 gift certificate to Dave's Coffee for just $2. That's radioonlydeals.com to buy your single-use digital gift certificate for Dave's Coffee. radioonlydeals.com. That's radioonlydeals.com. Enjoy the preferred coffee of the Gary Ayd Show. Enjoy Dave's Coffee.
All right. We haven't had a chance to do this in a few days. Let's do some news you can use, Rich.
I have some news you can use.
All right.
I have a lot of it, actually. I've been saving some up. The NHL awards were given out last night. The Hart Trophy for the MVP went to Connor McDavid. In other news, water is wet.
Yes. Breaking news. Yes.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise.
No.
When other players call someone McJesus, you know he's pretty good.
I got one too. John Collins has been traded from the Hawks. Remember a couple years ago when they signed him to that contract, and I said this guy's sort of a weird player that's like hard to, he's a little too good to like not sign to a contract, but not good enough to sign to the contract he's going to command. Well, looks like the Hawks came to that conclusion. They dumped him for the corpse of Rudy Gay and a second-round pick who will be another corpse. You talk about just a nothing burger. My goodness. Although, you know what? I'll tell you what. Contract aside, getting Rudy Gay for John Collins for basically that's not a bad get for the Jazz.
Not at all. Not at all. He will complement the player they drafted at number 9, who will be more of a stretch 4. That would be good for them. So that takes 2 players that will fill that spot.
Mm-hmm.
It was a smart move. Atlanta was over the cap without doing anything because they have some bloated contracts.
Right.
So that was more a move of necessity than anything else.
That makes sense.
And this is interesting.
What do you got?
Tiki Barber is worried about Aaron Judge as Judge recovers from that toe injury. Barber said, a toe is not part of your body that you can get off of and still stay in shape. He said, it's a big problem. I hope when he comes back and starts to feel better, he's not protecting that. He said the same thing happened to him. Deion Sanders jumped on his back and twisted his toe and it tore a ligament. He played through it. And he says that toe still gives him trouble today.
Interesting.
Deion Sanders makes a tackle and it makes more headlines than normal.
Look at that. All right, what else we got today?
Draymond Green is expected to be pursued by 3 teams. The Sacramento Kings, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
Your thoughts?
Well, to me, Sacramento makes a lot of sense. If he was going to go anywhere, I think that makes some sense. It's still California. They're a good team. Maybe an injection of a little experience will help them. I could see him and Sabonis actually playing well together.
Yeah, they're both very good passers.
Detroit would be interesting, to say the least. I would be shocked to see him sign there. And what was the third? Portland, ditto. Of those teams, Sacramento is the only one that makes any sense to me. I can't imagine, because Draymond Green has even publicly said as much at times when the Warriors were not competitive. He didn't care. He stopped playing. He kind of got out of shape. He didn't care anymore. Like, I can't imagine him like voluntarily going and signing with a team in Portland or Detroit that is almost assured to lose between 45 and 55 games.
Yes.
I would be shocked if he did that.
Oh, I agree with you.
So Sacramento makes some sense.
I absolutely agree with you. Victor Wembanyama won't play for France in the 2023 FIBA World Cup.
He's gonna play for Team USA, or he's just not playing.
He's not playing.
See, this is what happens. Americans take all of the good stuff from French. We took the French fries and commented them as our own. Now we took Wembanyama out of France, and he won't go back. So see what happens, imperialistic
French
Americans.
Actually, what we did, we stole the croissant and turned it into a croissant sandwich, and I think that's why France hates us.
Yeah, they're just jealous at our ingenuity. They just wish they thought of that first. That's all.
No, they're not.
I mean, a croissant sandwich is pretty much like top level culinary genius, though. I mean, it really is. Well, what about the cronut? Remember that? We turned a croissant and a donut into a thing. That was cool too. I mean,
I actually tried one when it was.
They're so good.
They are. Are they still around?
You'll find them every once in a while. They're not like the sensation they were about 8-10 years ago, but they were like a niche thing now. You know what else I saw recently? Our buddies at Days actually have a new menu item that I wanted to kind of highlight real quick and fits this conversation. It's a French take on the waffle. It's a croissant. Is it croissant? You pressed into a waffle. So it's I forget what it's called actually. Let me look it up right now. I took a picture of it. It looks really cool. You top it with like cheese or fruit or maple syrup. There are a few different varieties of it that you can get. And it's like it looks delicious. I have to try one. I'm probably gonna try one tomorrow. Let's see. Here where are we here? There it is. A croffle. It's a croissant waffle called a croffle.
I would absolutely try that.
I can't wait to try one.
I would probably crush a couple of.
You can get it with ice cream, brown cheese, cream with chocolate. Just
give me
chocolate.
The cheese. I'm there for the cheese.
That's what I'm thinking.
Anything savory works for me.
Or you can just get it plain with some maple syrup over the top too.
That works too.
Get that with a coffee, and you're all set. That's a good breakfast right there.
Oh yeah, man! Now I want to go to Days.
I'm telling you, man. They just made me think about it. Yeah. What else do we got?
Back to the Wembanyama story. He is playing in the 2024 Summer Olympics. One, because it's in Paris, and that's why he's not going to the World Cup, because that would be like 2 years without benefit of a full off season.
Right.
The Spurs were behind him with whatever decision he made, but I bet you they're happy he's not making that trip.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
And he now may play in a summer league game.
Well, that would be interesting.
Which is quite interesting, and I'd be there for that.
Have you ever made it to summer league before?
Not since it's been in Vegas, no.
Okay, yeah, it's something I've wanted to do, is the summer league in Vegas.
One of these years I will. The Lakers have made a decision on Austin Reeves.
Okay.
He's a restricted free agent. There's been a couple teams that said they're going to offer him the max. The max offer sheet is about $100 million for over 4 years. Lakers said they're going to match it even if it's that high.
That's great news. Him and LeBron clearly have such a chemistry together.
Yes.
And he's just a good player, Austin Reeves. He's an excellent player.
No, that is very, very nice.
Brings a dynamic to that team and that lineup that wouldn't be easily replaced. Now we got time for one or two more. What else we got?
Okay, Xander Bogaerts.
I saw this.
Of the San Diego Padres was highly critical of his team when they lost again to the Nationals. And he said, come on, we're playing the Nationals. I don't think they have any playoff aspirations. I mean, they obviously have a young team and they fight, but I wouldn't say anyone picked the Nationals to be in the playoffs. You have to beat the teams like that.
Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. I love when an active player will say what we all say daily and think.
Yes.
Everyone thinks the same thing. Like when you play more of these dreadful teams, the Royals, the Nationals, you play one of these teams until this year. The Texas Rangers have been one of those teams for a lot of years. Now they're actually really good. I mean, when you play a team like that, you have to win those games.
They're actually better than the Yankees. And you know why? Because the Rangers built for this baseball.
Right.
And the Yankees will still sit in the past and refuse.
And they also hired Bruce Bochy, who apparently has holy water that he sprinkles on his players.
Oh, jeez. A lot of it.
He's got gallons of it. He owns the Fountain of Youth. He just leases it to everyone else. My goodness. I mean,
I
look,
got to give him a call.
I'm telling you, man. Me too. I mean, he made Pablo Sandoval into a household name. The guy was like Daniel Vogelbach with a sunburn. Like, guy, he was their best player though. Like, how? Kung Fu Panda. That's a great nickname, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my goodness.
Good stuff today.
It really was good stuff. It really was. I'm excited for the rest of the week. Should be a lot of fun. We'll have some more interviews probably tomorrow. Of course, we'll have Joe Vasile of the Renegades on Thursday. So let's get it going. We'll see you then. This is the Gary Ayd Show. We'll see you tomorrow, 4 to 5 here.